The euro is not only the question of the future of our common currency, but it's the future of Europe at stake. The history of Europe has shown and brought us 2,000 years of wars and battles, more wars and battles than peace periods. We had 2 world wars. They started both in Europe, between Germany and France. 3 wars in 70 years. And we are now in the longest period of peace that we know since the Holy Roman Empire and Roman Empire. Since then, we had to organize reconciliation, and that was organized because of the turbulent past around Germany and France. It also started with economics, because this was the only realistic approach to take to steer solidarity between our 2 peoples. And it worked so well that when today you ask French, who's your best friend? They say Germans, and if you ask Germans, they will tell you it's the French. So we started with coal and steel because of the production of war equipment, and then the unified and the common market started. First common, then unified. We were 6 countries founding the European communities and expanded over years. 6, 9, 12, 15, and then in the beginning of the 90s, we made a huge leap, absorbing in one step 10, 12 countries. That means 100 million new citizens that were on the other side of the Iron Curtain, and that in one go just became member of the European Union, a new, peaceful European Union. And this is an adventure that is absolutely unparalleled, no equivalent worldwide. This is the story of unification through a democratic process and not through war, of 500 million European citizens that are about to build a common future. And this is what is all at stake. So why did we want a euro in the first place? For 2 reasons, actually. First of all, when you have a common market, you need also a common currency. Think about the United States of America, with different currencies between California, Texas, New Hampshire, whatever, inimaginable. And we need to have a market that is as integrated as the United States, and therefore we need a common currency. And second, for historical reasons. When the continent got united after the fall of the Iron Curtain, we had the reunification of Germany, and François Mitterrand, during that period, was very preoccupied by the fact that Germany, that at the time had the same amount of inhabitants that France, just becoming overnight 80 million. And he wasn't against it. He wasn't against it. He just asked that at the same time, with that enlargement, great enlargement, we'd go into a deepening of the European Union so as to make sure that it would not fall apart. This is why Helmut Kohl and François Mitterrand decided to introduce the euro. I was lucky enough to be able to participate at the final negotiation round between Helmut Kohl and Jacques Chirac about the euro, and we knew at the time that the Treaty of Maastricht wasn't perfect and that what would happen afterwards wouldn't be perfect either, because in order to sell the euro to the Bundestag and to the people in Germany was extremely difficult, because the Deutschmark was the symbol of the success of Germany post-World War II, and it was really a masterpiece in policy for Helmut Kohl to achieve that. And after final negotiations, it was just absolutely unthinkable of having exit clauses, because that would already basically prelude the failure of the euro. And this is only for historical reasons that we proceeded this way, and we actually needed to make sure that the euro would be a success story. We now have a situation that is quite a paradoxon. If you look at the euro and look at it from a point of view of the inflation, then it is a huge success, much bigger than Deutsche Mark. The inflation in Europe is below, and since the beginning of the euro, than the inflation of the different national currencies, and also for the Deutsche Mark. If you look at the Eurozone, you see that we have quite positive figures compared with other countries. If you take the sovereign debt in the Eurozone, it is on average at about 84–85%, which is actually the level for the French and German sovereign debt. And that is much lower than in the United States. In the United States, it's at about 100% of GDP, and Japan, it's 200% of GDP. If you look at the deficits of our budget in the Eurozone, on average, again, deficits are at about 4.1% of GDP. And if you look at the UK, if I'm not mistaken, it's in excess of 9%, or in the United States in excess of 10% or around 10%. So overall, the euro is a strong currency. If you bought euro at a time of introduction, it was 117, and now it's a 133, 134 compared to the dollar. You have a strong currency, stable currency, with countries that overall are in a much better budget situation than in the UK, Japan, or the United States. So where's the issue? Why this crisis? There are two main reasons for that. First of all, a name, Greece. Greece joined the euro, but wasn't ready for it. And we all were in the Eurozone having easy years because interest rates that we had in our countries before the euro were much higher than after the introduction of the euro. And euro interest rates were at the level of Deutschmark or below that. So in Greece, but also in Spain, Portugal, it was possible all of a sudden for families, for states, for companies that actually fell to a level that really was a heavy incitement to borrow, so to say. And this is how the real estate bubble was created in Spain. In Greece, the state did not have the possibility to control the debt evolution.